I feel like a lot of times we live like the future is happening or like the future is real. And like we live like the past is real, like the future is real. That stuff doesn't exist, bro. And like the past already happened. The past is even more of something you need to forget. You can't do anything about the past. It has already happened. Nothing you do changes the past. Now, the future, like I said, you can change it. But it still hasn't happened. The future will never happen. The future, as we know it, as we know the future, will never happen. Now, we can project and fantasize and manifest our future. And sometimes what we manifest of the future will become present, but you're never going to live in the future. You never experience life in the future. You never experience life in the past. You only experience life in the present. One of the biggest things, if not the biggest thing that I have been focusing on recently, is enjoying every single day of my life. And look, that's not possible to be perfect in that. Some days suck. But what you can do when those kind of days arise is not get into this woe is me mindset. This idea that like, oh, this is my life and my life sucks. Like, no, your life doesn't suck, bro. It just, you're having a bad day. You have to realize that, yes, they're just emotions, but then you also have to realize that, yes, they're just emotions, but emotions are still important. You don't want to shove your emotions, just shove them down, shove them down, shove them down, and then you become this emotionally unintelligent person that doesn't know how to express themselves. And you don't want to become this like person who's overrun by emotions and your emotions control you. So you have to find a balance. The magic is always in the middle. What I'm trying to focus on is that I'm mainly just trying to focus on this emotional problem when it comes to going about life. Like, how do my emotions affect the way that I live my life? Like, I think how you love life is being in more of like an acceptance of everything. As a Christian, I don't love evil, but I also have to accept that that is my reality. I can't be in denial and be like, oh, yes, I love life and, sin doesn't exist and blah, blah, blah. That goes against the truth. But I can be in acceptance of like, yes, there's evil in the world. Yes, people are suffering. Yes, I suffer. But the world is still such a beautiful gift from God. And like the world is still such a beautiful, amazing place. How blessed I am to be alive and to be in the world. And that's what I was praying a second ago, trying to get my mind right for this video because my mind's all over the place today. How blessed I am to be alive. How blessed I am to be able to experience life in this way, to be me. I genuinely don't want to be anybody else. I would hate to be anybody else. I love being me. And yeah, I'm a pretty sucky guy sometimes. What I thought about when I said that, why did I say that? Is because a lot of the times I'm very hard on myself and I'm very self-critical, and I hate that about myself. Well, why do I have to be so self-critical of myself? And I don't think it's necessarily the self-critical thing that's just horrendous, because I want to be able to analyze myself, because if I can't analyze myself, I can't grow. So I like that part of myself, but I don't like the part of my analytical self that's very toxic. I'll probably film this video and I'll go look at myself because right now, as I'm filming, I feel pretty confident in myself. I feel like, I probably look pretty good on camera. But as soon as I upload this into my editor, and see probably how the lighting looks. Yes, a lot of thought kind of went into the lighting before I filmed this video, so hopefully the lighting looks pretty decent. But I'll probably, odds are, put the video in the editor and be like, man, this guy's ugly as cheeks. It happens probably about 95% of the time that I film videos. 5% of the time I look at the video, I'm like, man, I'm actually kind of baddie in this video. Most of the time I think I look like cheeks. That's what I don't like about my analytical self. But I'm in acceptance of like, yes, there's a very negative part of that, but also I like my analytical self. So I like it. There's a bad side of it. Now, also, you have to remember that there are no solutions. There are only trade-offs. That is something that has really helped me come to terms with acceptance. Oh my gosh. Goodness, I feel strong today. There are no solutions. There are only trade-offs. What does that mean? For example, I focus on the gym at this time in my life. At this time in my life, I'm going to focus on the gym. What does it fully mean if I lock in on the gym? That means sometimes I'm going to have to make sacrifices. Do I pick going out with my friends? Do I pick, if I go out with my friends, I'm going to miss this gym? If I tell myself, at this time in my life, I'm going to focus on the gym, that means I'm going to have to go to the gym instead of hanging out with my friends. Is that a solution? No, because I want to do both things, but I have to pick one. So what's the trade-off of focusing on the gym? I don't get to hang out with my friends, along with all the other things that I have to miss out on because I said I'm going to focus on the gym. And that can be applied to many things in life. If you are going to focus on making money at one point of your life, you're going to say, for the next 3 months, I'm putting my head down and I'm going to make money. I'm going to make sure that in the next 3 months, the amount of money that I take in goes up. Everything else is going to suffer, but one thing's going to grow. Is that a solution? No, because you still want to do all these other things, and all these other things are still important, but you're going to focus on the gym. And you have to have this mindset of, it's only for a season. This is a stop, not a stay. And I preach that to myself a lot recently, the past couple weeks, because it's like right now, I don't have a ton of money. Am I doing better now? Yes. I locked in and I've gotten myself to a little bit better of a place. But the only reason why I didn't go crazy is because I'm just preaching to myself over and over again, like, it's a stop, not a stay. It's a stop, not a stay. It's a stop, not a stay. And don't get me wrong, I was still stressed out about it, and it still bothered me. But it didn't bother me as much as it could have, or even should have, because I know that this is a stop, not a stay in my life. I will not be this poor for my entire life. I will not look like this for my entire life. I will not talk like this for my entire life. This is a stop, not a stay. So that's kind of how I get past a lot of negative things that are going on in my life, knowing that they're not going to last forever. But trying to take this full circle, the positive things aren't going to last forever either. I'm not always going to be this young. I'm not always going to be this healthy. I'm not always going to be this free. Life is so amazing right now. And I've said that at many different times in my life. I have said I love life throughout my teenage years, but normally that doesn't last as long as this has. And I don't think that's a coincidence. I think I just didn't have the mindset that I have now back then. I would be having a really good time, or like life would be going pretty good, and then eventually, like, I'd have the courage to say, "Oh, I love life." A couple days later, bah! Oh, I don't love life anymore. Life sucks. And I think now, knock on wood, I have a better mindset to where it's like, I can appreciate life in every season. I can appreciate life when, yeah, man, it sucks. Yeah, this sucks, but I'm me and I know I can get through it. I hate to see other people suffer because I know that I could get through it. That's my thing. Is it's like, if I see people that I love suffering, it's like, I would much rather me be suffering. And I genuinely mean that. Because I know I can handle it. I can get through it. But if I see somebody that I care about suffering, that genuinely bothers me. But what I was trying to go with before is I think I've just gotten a way better mindset to where it's like I can enjoy even the sucky seasons in my life. Like when I say enjoy, it's not like pleasurable enjoyment. And that's why I kind of don't like when people are like, love the pain, embrace the pain. Bro, I'm not going to suffer if I don't have to. Now, if the reward on the other side of that suffering is worth it, 100%, I'll go through that. But just to suffer is not my thing, not my cup of tea. So when I say enjoyment, I can enjoy even the painful seasons of my life. They still suck. Pain's pain, pain's always going to hurt. But I know that it's a stop, not a stay, and I know that I'm going to eventually get to the other side of it. And the lessons that I learned from going through that are going to be worth it. So I can have acceptance of that season of my life because I know that the man I will be when I come out on the other side will be a much better version of myself. And that's the version of myself that I fantasize about in the future. Now, will that version of myself eventually come to reality? I have a lot of faith in that, so I will say yes. But I don't want to just live in this fairy tale land called the future and just fantasize all the time like, oh man, my future's going to be so good. Because I think a lot of people live in that. And I think a lot of people on the self-improvement side of the internet live in that. Oh, my future, bro, I can't wait for the future. I can't wait for the future. I can't wait for the future. And I say that. I say that. Maybe I think a healthy amount. Because generally, I think my future is going to be great. But you know what's great? Right now. I'm so blessed to be able to be here, to live in a country called America, to have freedom, to be 6 foot tall, to be healthy, to live a comfortable life, to be able to have the friends that I have, to be able to have the girlfriend that I have, to be able to chase my dreams, to be able to buy this camera at, I think I was 16, I might have been 15 when I bought this camera. Like, do you know how lucky I am to be able to work, to be able to suffer under my own prescription? You know, like I prescribe the suffering on myself. Do you know how lucky I am to be able to lift these weights, to look the way that I do? Like, life's great right now, dog. I don't think I've said this online yet. Like, I'm chasing that feeling of when I was 7 years old and I wake up and it's my birthday. I'm chasing that feeling in my everyday life. Like, I love being able to wake up on an ordinary day and low-key feel the same way I did at 7 years old. Like, that's a very unique feeling, and I can't really describe it, but it's just like this overwhelming, like this happy feeling, like, today is gonna be a good day. Like that today's gonna be a good day feeling. Like, I'm chasing that. And it's a choice. It's a choice to feel that way. And if you actively seek that out, if you actually go into the day like, today's going to be that kind of day, you put on happy music, you monitor what you allow into your mind, dude, like life is low-key epic. And it's all about perspective. And I'm not saying you're going to be able to adopt this perspective like that. Like it's 3 years, 4 years almost into this process of growing and building my mind. It's not going to be that easy. Like you're not going to go from low-key having a terrible mindset to having a peak mindset with a snap of your fingers. Like you can make a list of 10 things that you're grateful for. That alone will begin to break down these negative walls that are in your mind. These negative things that you keep telling yourself over and over and over again, that will begin to chip away at that, and you will begin to break down wall by wall and begin to be more comfortable with this grateful side of you. And now I don't do that because I feel like it's kind of past me. I've been there and I've done that. But a lot of my gratitude is just throughout the day. Like I say to myself, like, man, I'm so lucky to be here. I'm so lucky to be able to do this. And I pray. 90% of my prayers are just gratitude. I pray for other people, and I do pray for other things, and I pray for help, and I pray for guidance and wisdom. But 90% of what I say in my prayers is gratitude and praise. Thank you, God, for allowing me to be here. Thank you for the person that I am. Thank you for the person that you're making me. Thank you for giving me the opportunities to make these mistakes. Thank you for just like giving me free will. Like I can make the bad choice if I want to. I can make the good choice if I want to. Like he gives me these opportunities. And I'm so grateful that I get to choose what I do with that. And look, I am not the best person. I don't follow God in the way that I know I should. But still he blesses me with abundance. Yes, I'm grateful for that. Like, oh my gosh, I don't deserve any of this. Like, why am I any different? Like, why is there some kid in Africa suffering? He didn't do nothing. He didn't ask to be born. But he's in Africa and I'm in America. That's just a blessing from God. Now, that kid in Africa, he can be just as grateful as me for the position that he's in. So I just want to be grateful for what I've been given. You know, and I want to help other people where I can. Life's just good, bro. And you can live that in any way. I don't care what your situation is. And yeah, you might be in a pretty sucky scenario. And yes, you want to like get out of it. 100% not telling you not to do that. And I'm not telling you to lie to yourself and be like, oh, my situation's perfectly fine. Bro, it might not be. Like you might genuinely be in a sucky scenario. But you can have a better perspective on it either way. And you can be grateful for the spot that you're in, even though you want to get out of it. Even though this is not what you want to be in life, you could still be grateful that you're in it. Being grateful is one of the biggest superpowers. And it's one of the biggest things I've grown in so far this year is being grateful. And, you know, there's other things like, you know, talking to myself better. But I think gratitude is like that big pillar and there's like little Those little things that come off of that pillar. You know what I mean? Thank y'all for watching. I love y'all very much. And YouTube is harder than I thought it was a year ago, but your boy's not going to stop ever. And one day it's all going to pay off. Thank y'all for watching. Be safe out there. I love y'all. God bless. Peace.